just want to start this video saying I came down with something last night, so if I seem funny and out of it, that's why. Um, so apologies in advance. Um, let's see. I'm going to respond to the video you made. Just make sure I'm not missing anything. And then also, if you got a decapitated riff you're thinking of, let me know. Because I got a few songs in mind where they have like one of those really rhythmic-y things that could work very well for the idea I have. Which I think their most popular song, the Spheres of Madness. It's like, just feels kind of hacky to do that one first because so many people have played that song. From what I've seen, it's not like I really see tons of decapitated covers, but the few videos I have seen, like, it's usually that song, so it's like I want to do something different. Anyway, so rhythm went well for the most part. So this is what I'm asking for. I'm asking of you. As soon as you can, I want you to re-record both at just the 60. And let's go over why. Let's bring up number 1 here. Let's get some volume. So overall, rhythmically is definitely a lot better in the slower speeds, but you can do better. I want you to do better. You can. Just need you to lay back a little bit more. So yeah, the faster stuff definitely sounds nice, good. So, if there's ever a wonder, well, what's the point of getting it really good slow if all I want to do is play fast? I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you're thinking, but just, for the sake of discussion. I do feel that if you can play precise at slow tempos, then you have a better grasp of following whatever speed it is you're trying to play. It's just those attentions to detail that can really make a difference. And besides, you might want to play something that's really slow. Then you can. Maybe you want to play some typo negative. The slow typo negative. Anyway, so I want to point out what I heard, so this way you have a better chance of correcting it. Okay, so the second bar there, the last couple strums came before the click. See if you can hear that. So it's definitely early. They like the chord strum and the click, like if you looked at it, like a visual, if you recorded it. And again, please remember, I feel loopy in the brain right now, so I'm going to sound even less... I can't even think what the hell I want to say. Literate? That doesn't make sense. That's reading. Anyway, I can't talk. If you looked at it in the recording, you'd see the click, and then they wouldn't be like touching each other. Like if you had the wave of the click and the wave of the strum, like it's far apart enough, like the two wouldn't even be touching anymore. And then when you start that third bar, because you got so far ahead on the last part of the second bar, you start the third bar quite early as well. Now you did correct, you evened it out, which is a good thing. It's a good skill to have. It's important, especially if you ever want to play in a band type situation, or if you're just playing along with songs, like, as you mentioned, playing things that you've listened to thousands of times. If you get off a little bit, you need to get back on. So that's a good thing to have, but I want you to have the skill to stay on the whole way. So those last few strums there to finish out number one, a little early again on those last three strums. So that's why I want you just do the 60. Just give me a good solid 60, okay? Remember, you want to think of it like you are aiming to play a split second after the click. If you anticipate the click, if you try and anticipate it, then we have this right here where the tendency is to come in early, especially at the slower tempos. So especially at the slower tempos, think of it like you need to come in a split second late. Even if you do come in a split second late, it always sounds more solid versus coming in a split second early. So if it's a split second late, it has that more in the pocket feel versus coming in a split second early, then it just feels more rushed. Alright, number 2, and then answer or respond to the stuff you have at the end here. It's a little bit rushed again. Rushed. So it's, for this one, it was like a consistent, just a little too early. So it was fairly even on how you were playing it, just evenly early. So again, that's why I want you to redo both of these, just the 60. That's all I want for this. Yeah, as soon as you can. No need to wait. Let me see. Yeah, so let's get to second half here. Apologize for making you watch yourself, but it just feels like the easiest way for me to do this, because I'm like trying to remember everything that was said, and I'm not doing well at remembering everything that was said. So here we go.
I've been thinking about my issues with strumming and counting, and why I can play certain things. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, please, or I actually would like feedback. When I play stuff, it's things I've listened to thousands or hundreds of times.
So, if I remember right, like, there wasn't like really a question, it was more like an observation, but like, are you basically trying to ask, I feel like you're trying to ask, like, is the reason why I can play the things that I can play because I've listened to it so many times? The answer would be yes, because you have listened to it so much, you got the internal rhythm and like your brain and your body, you know it. So yeah, that would make things much easier. So, but learning to do the strumming and counting thing the way we're doing it right now, again, this isn't just about being able to just play the things. It's so you can understand your own stuff, because again, like tying it all back into writing your own material, and like say entering it into Guitar Pro, so you know it. Because when you can actually count out your own stuff, you're gonna know it a lot better. You're gonna be able to play it a lot better, I feel. You have more control over what you do when you record and when you write. So, as I remember when I think we started a while ago with gonna have you write out in Guitar Pro a lead for something, and you couldn't get the rhythm stuff to work because you didn't know how to count it. So that's the big reason we started doing this. So like, well, let's teach you how to count all this stuff so you can feel it out, understand how to count it, and all that good stuff. But like when you come across things that would be new, even if you have listened to it for a long time. Like when you look at the tab, like you'll be able to actually count all this stuff out, and you'll recognize patterns, and it's going to be even easier to practice and learn the things that you have listened to for a long time. So maybe you come across a new song or new riff or whatnot, and you haven't listened to it 1,000 times yet. You only listen to it 3 times, but your rhythm's going to be so fucking awesome. You'll know it, and you can figure it out fast. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense that you would have trouble doing this new thing because it's new. Like, a lot of people, most people, I'd say, when, they might play some what could be considered fairly complex stuff because they're used to hearing it. They know it. And they know it just because, like you said, people listen to those things so many times, they get it. Like the play by ear sort of thing. And that's a different skill versus like looking at the music, figuring it out, reading it, and being able to put it together. But when you can do that stuff, it makes the complex things that you've listened to a long time, like Decapitated, way easier to get down. Because then you'll know how to break it down, you'll know how to count it out. Makes it so much more easy. Let's continue.
Nice. So I can hear it in my head and I know what it sounds like in the lessons you give me. I don't understand the rhythm and the context that you give it to me, which chord change.
See, that one I'm not too sure what you mean by, like, the context given to you. Because the context is just like, it just is what it is. It's just the thing. It's a thing to do. It's the riff. Call it a riff, call it a chord progression, call it a strumming pattern. Context is it's in the key of C. I could very well play in other keys because we've gone over other keys, so I can do that too, but it's just taking chord shapes that work well with distortion, I feel, and then training you how to count things just to give you better understanding of how this stuff goes, like how to mathematically figure it out and understand it. And then you can understand the other stuff better. Continuing.
Changes or the whatever changes within the scale or whatever. I think that's part of the problem. And well, yeah, that's a problem. Me not being able to put it together as easily as I do when I play songs. If that makes any sense. Definitely, if you do a decapitated Patreon or decapitated type.
There's actually 2 decapitated lessons on there. One of them was like this breakdown riff, and another was basically all the riffs in one song. It was just such a simple song in terms of like how many riffs there are. I just did the whole thing. But there are 2 on there if you haven't seen it already. If you go to the Patreon page and search for Decapitated, those should pop up.
Patreon, let me know. I am a patron. I signed up
Lord.
before I started lessons. I signed up on your Patreon. I still support you there.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's about it. So I appreciate all your help. I do like the triad improv stuff. Although, what made more sense for me, you said use it, mix it up a little bit, whatever. I didn't have any context, so I redid like a couple.
Well, as far as the context thing, like, if you could think of a way to reword what you mean there, that would probably help me out. But you found something that helped you use the shapes, so that's good. I mean, you found something that's working, which is good. So perhaps there's a way for you to reword what you're getting at there. Maybe that would help out. Maybe I'm just being a dummy. There's a good chance of that. All right. So I am going to go over the chord theory stuff after demonstrating the new counts here. So there is a little bit to change and add. A little bit to add as well in the chord theory. All right. So again, using these chords. Some of them no inversions, some of them are inversions. Over here we got good old traditional power chords mixed in with the other chords. So here we go, 60 beats per minute. Nice and laid back. 1, 2, hang on, drop this down so both hands are in view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 done. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 181, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240, 1, 2, whoops, too fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2. 60. Keep it laid back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1. I seriously just pushed the E string up over the fretboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 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 done. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 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 down. 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the theory. Let's go. The first thing I noticed was not a single mode was labeled. So I'd like you to please go through those, put in the correct mode name as well. Just do it the same way you would do chords. Hit the letter A on the keyboard, type out the full mode name, including the root note. That is important. So yeah, let's add all the mode names to everything as well. All right, this guy here. Now, totally fine to do what you did in terms of taking this inversion, moving it up, and then going right back down. However, I do feel you can cover less ground if you use a different type of E minor chord instead. Basically, what you did up here is exactly what you want to do down here. So you did not just take this inversion, slide it up, and then back down. You used a different inversion for that. So do the same thing here. Okay, same idea here, or similar idea. So instead of taking the same, wait a minute. Now we're going to use an inversion to go to the A minor to cover a little less ground. So this might help you piece it together as well. Now, an F major and a C major share something. So this chord here, the note or notes, I don't want to give away too much, so the note or notes shared between a C and an F chord, it needs to be present here and here. So whatever is shared between the C and the F chord needs to be present in this bar. So you might want to just try getting this chord here, lined up with that chord, and that could make putting the A minor chord, the different one, that might make it easier. So we're going to use a different A minor chord, and we want the shared notes between the C and F chord to be present here. Wait a minute. I'm being an idiot. C and F don't share anything. Wait a minute. Yes, they do. I am not being completely an idiot. I told you I am out of it. Yeah. Yes, F and C share a note. Oh my god. Anyway, continuing on. Just need a chord label here. Let's see. So similar to up above, I'd like you to try a different G chord. So use a different inversion to go from the A minor over C to a different kind of G. I feel that overall you will move across the fretboard less. So just a way to condense the movement further. Down here. All right. So totally understand why you would just go straight up the A minor to B diminished to C like that. But we can use inversions to, again, cover less ground. But also, even if you did go this way, there is something shared between the C and the G chord, and that's not reflected in the chord choices here. So I want you to just redo all three of these bars. We're going to go somewhere else for the B diminished, use an inversion to go somewhere else, and then see where that takes you. But yeah, the C and G chords, they do share something. And that is that. So I dotted things where we need to change location, or like change how we're doing the chords. So go ahead and just leave those dots where they are, so I can quickly find the submission, like when you update stuff. And then, yeah, so just leave the dotted whole notes as they are. And so, besides changing those chords we talked about, yeah, just label all the mode names, plus get the label for that chord there. And as soon as you can, please send over a redo of both last week's stuff at just 60. Keep it laid back, solid. And yeah, I think that covers it. And apologies for for usually not getting things sent over Monday. Just usually I got a bunch of recaps and whatnot to record. So Tuesday will be the latest I ever get your stuff out. I try and get it done Monday if possible, but Tuesday will always be the latest. All right. That's that. I'll talk to you soon.